Rahubat. How's everyone doing? This is just a quick announcement because I've been getting several texts because I do remember that I did say that I was going to go live on to give an update about the sisters in the tribe. Um, and so I've been really busy in my life. Things are turning around for me. I'm feeling really good and I'm so happy. And I also wanted to make this very clear and make sure that I let you all know that those of you, there's a saying. Hold on, let me turn this TV off. I'm in my bedroom. There's a saying when people do witchcraft or do evil or try to cast spells on other people, they call it throwing stuff. They say, yeah, you throwing stuff at me, you throwing stuff at me. And y'all just keep trying every time. I just want to say this. My ancestors, Rahubat, Lisa Gray, how you doing? What you doing up, sis? I just wanted to say this. Um, my ancestors always let me know when something is going down. And I got a message from them last night, and then I also got a message from them, Rahubat Marudka Sabora Hotep. I got a message from my ancestors. Yesterday, they told me that they were stirring up trouble. And then they told me today that the people or someone who's trying to do something to me or at me that is coming from Atlanta. First of all, I'm going to let you all know I don't know who you niggas think you are. And if you think that I, Tabatachatat Hatshepsut is going to sit back and allow y'all to keep doing things and saying things and slandering and trying to assassinate the master teacher, it is not going to happen. It is not going to work. We are extraterrestrials. We are from an advanced star system. It's not going to work. You are evil and your destiny is with your father, the devil. You made your choice. You all had an opportunity to show the master teacher how much you appreciate him, and you failed at it. Every time I went live and tried to tell y'all who these people were, you ignored the facts and listened to evildoers. Oh, because they have a child with Baba. And I tried to tell y'all, why don't you all look at the pattern? Look at the pattern of how the incarceration took place and what happened and who were the people that did it. It was his own people. You all keep looking at others and saying, well, this is Baba's wife, this is Shalimar Richardson, this is Carla Thomas, and you all are looking at titles just like you do with the celebrities. And all I gotta say is, oh, what fools you mortals in flesh be. Many of you are not you're humanoids. So you can't comprehend the spirit world because everything about you is physical. Everything. Food, clothes, everything is about the physical world. And this is why the extraterrestrials don't want to take you. They don't want to take you back to their planet. Because when they try to help you understand what's happening, it just goes, it's like Lulu Amilu. It goes in one ear and out the other. So again, somebody did something. They started the trouble yesterday because my ancestors told me that it was brewing. And I just wanted to let you all know I am not. Let me tell you something about me. I am not ever in my life going to forget what you all did to Panabab Yanun, nor will I ever forget any harm that you've ever tried to cause me. Okay? And I just want to let you know, get ready because it's coming. Yes, all of you whores, you witches, and you evil people, you are going on my wall. Get ready. I have another room with green rug. I'm going in there and I have a big white wall in there and I'm going to smack your face on the wall and I'm going to publicly humiliate you. Okay? And as long as I'm speaking the truth, my ancestors do not have a problem with it because that is what we are about. Okay? And like I said, I cut all my ties with every last one of you trifling niggas. I don't want anything to do with you. After I smack you up on the wall, I'm done. I'm not doing no more updates. You all will see what I'm saying is real when the master teacher is free. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Anybody can just come and tell you anything and you believe it. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you know that you're under a spell. The math teacher broke it down and said, you don't think that spells is real? He said he went to Luxor, Vegas, because he wanted to see the pyramids there. And he said he sat in the audience and watched a man hypnotize the whole audience. It's real. And guess what? Many of you try to pretend that it's not real. You try to act like it's fake, and you try to pretend that what I'm saying to you is an illusion. Or they tell you, "Oh, she crazy." No, they're the ones that's crazy. Let me tell you something, what I learned throughout my years. And I also want to share something to you with you that the master teacher taught me. He said, whenever you bring up something about witchcraft and people say, "Oh, that ain't real," girl, please, those are the ones that know that it is. And they don't want you to know that that's what they practice. But as I said to you all before, these are children of the devil. They are wicked. They are liars. They are con artists. Look how now I want y'all to look at this. Take this for a prime example. Look at how Damian Pryor, who y'all call Duswa, went live, put the crown on his head, and sat there teaching class, claiming he's the son of Dr. Melchizedek York. After all he's done to those children, he's a very sick man. But what did he do? They put the costumes on. They have to put on a costume so that you can't see them. They have to camouflage themselves, just like the political people do with the suits and the ties and the clean shave. It's all a costume. That's not who they really are. They pretend, just like they do on television. They are great at acting. And the only way you're going to be able to understand who you're dealing with, the only way you're going to be able to understand who these people are is to take off the spirit, the physical aspects of it, and open up your spiritual eye and look at things from another view. Stop looking at things, stop taking things on face value and understand what we're dealing with. Okay, another announcement that I wanted to make is my Cash App does not work. So if any of you kind brothers and sisters, a wild tap who's a wild, tried to send me money through Cash App, the Cash App is gone. And to be honest with you, I don't really need it. You understand? If you would like to send me something, if you would like to help out, because I'm still working, all right? If you would like to help, you would just have to do it through Venmo or Chime. I have Chime, I have Venmo, and no, I'm not going to type all that in there. I'm like tired of all of that. I'm tired of talking to you all, asking for your help. You just, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it wasn't for me, the master teacher wouldn't still be. Well, I can't say it wasn't for me, because that would be ego tripping. Because the master is governed by extraterrestrials. He's the master of heaven and earth, and like he told me many times, I'm just a part of it. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say if it wasn't for me, but I just want to be honest. There's so many things that I've done to help him in so many ways. You understand? You people was out here following Black Devils. Y'all let Sakina collect money from y'all, Patricia Lewis. Y'all let that funny, weird, evil-looking demon, y'all gave her your money. And she lied and said she was doing things for Baba, but she was taking the money doing witchcraft. She has many secrets, and I'm going to get into all of that about all of them. Okay? I'm putting all the whores on the wall. All the female whores of this tribe. Yes, your behind is going up on my wall. Get ready. I'm going to have the fly swatter and a road spray ready for your funky, nasty, disgusting behinds. Portraying to be walking with us when you're not. And now you put your satanic symbol on a flag. Now there's a Black Devil flag. And guess what? They have every right by so to have that. And then there's a picture of the master teacher as the Lamb of the Most High with his scepter. And he says that, and he's talking about what y'all did to him. And then the symbol is at the bottom. The synagogue of Satan. Those who claim they are Sabaeans and they're not, yet they are the synagogue of Satan. A lot of you are going to be shocked. Your mouth is going to drop when you find out that all that I'm saying is real. You need to go back and listen to my videos and go through, do the math yourself. You understand? Listen, if had I not told you all, many of you would have never known. And I didn't know that. It was my bad. I didn't know that you all didn't know. And that's why I was so angry. I was like, you can't tell me. And this is the reason why I said there's no way that you all don't know what's going on. Because I said to myself, there's no way in the world, I'm going to tell you from my own experience, that you can hang around a person for years. If you're a good person, if you're striving for righteousness and you're a good person and you walking with the master, there's no way in the world you can be around a black devil and they horns not and they not show their horns. Something's going to happen, something they're going to do, something they're going to say, something they're going to wear. Even the smell from the vile breath. You didn't read the part of the called the shadowers? It says in there that their breath stinks and that their tongue is like a cesspool of maggots when nothing comes forth but bad smells. They smell. They stink. If anybody in this tribe comes around you, male or female or child, with a foul odor, that is a disembodied evil being. Either something's inside of them or they are what that scent is. We do not have foul odors. Y'all got all these people around us calling them Dirty Mary and all this other stuff. Oh, that's Dirty Mary. And also, y'all got all these crazy nicknames for this behavior that you are accepting, for this exquisite, elaborate way of living. The Egyptians were clean. They were neat. They wore the best. They smelled the best. They bathed 2, 3, 4, as many times as a day. They made sure they kept their body clean, their mouth clean, and they nothing but good smells. They were not sickly, skinny, malnourished with all these issues like many of you do from eating McDonald's and stuff, eating garbage. All these years that the master's been in there, many of you were feeding off of the children of the Most High. You were dying stars anyway. So wherever you are in your life, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I always talk about the elders because we all are going to get old one day. And if you don't take care of your body, trust me, something like tying your shoe will show you that you're getting old. Tying your sneakers, or walking a long way and being out of breath, you'll know that you're not young anymore. You understand? And we all are going to go through those stages in life. We're all going to get older. I'm not talking about the elderly people that have transcended because, it was, like Baba said in the Life and Soul, I think it was that book called Life and Soul. He said everyone's life is like a shoestring, some shorter and longer than others. So some people had to go because it was their time, and others were taken out. Because when that ritual was done in Kenya, a lot of people was dropping. I'm talking about every month there were balloon ceremonies. And many of you don't know anything about that because you wasn't around. So those of you who wasn't around, all I'd like to suggest is that you go back and listen to my tapes from back then. Go back to the beginning and listen to it. And then ask yourself, how come the people that I'm talking about won't say anything? Who does that? Let me tell you something. There's a member of my family that did something very wicked. And I spoke to that member of my family a couple of days ago. And I said, you did such and such and such and such and such and such. And she said to me, you know what? I don't want to hear this. I'm hanging up. And hung up and blocked my number. Now, check this out. If somebody in this tribe accuses me of something and I know it's not true, there's no way in the world that I'm going to sit back and allow someone to talk about me and slander and make up lies on me. Okay? See, I'm going to tell you what black devils do. When they do it behind closed doors. That's why Saada called that audio the mystery behind closed doors. Because they do it behind closed doors. Okay? When they do witchcraft, they do it behind closed doors. But I'm going to tell you something. I know each and every one of you, known and unknown, like I said, your day is, I hope you're ready for the comeback because that's the universal law. It's time for the pendulum to swing and it's time for the master to come home, whether you like it or not. But I'm going to tell you something. So she hung up the phone and I said to my sister that I was talking to a relative of mine, I said, now, if she would have said that to me, I would have said, you know what? First of all, you need to bring the person who said it and who said that to prove that but I knew it was the truth because I remember when it happened. It was long ago, but I remember when a certain event took place and then it all started to add up. Come on now, you all know sometimes you could go back in time and remember when things took place to help you in your future to be successful. You understand what I'm saying? And so you can relive things from the past, or somebody can tell you something about something that happened long ago, and you'll say, oh, that's why so did so, and that's why this happened. That's why she used to hide this and tell me to stay here while she go there. Now I know why. You feel me? And so how I know that what I said, that what my relative did to me is the truth, is because she didn't address it. Now let's use the master teacher who is a master. For example, when Bilal Phillips came out with that Ansar cult book, Baba rebutted it. Okay? Because it wasn't true. It was not true. He didn't ignore it. It was not true. Stuff he made up. The brother didn't even live in a community. And then the math teacher said to Bilal Phillips, let me see you go to Saudi Arabia and tell them to let you live amongst them, some town, some exquisite town, and let them teach you in schools. And Baba said, let me see you do that. Because he was Jamaican man. You sitting up here coming at me at your own from the freaking Saudi Arabians. They don't give a damn about us. They call us Zinjis. They are more racist than the Celtics are. And they do some horrible things to Africans over there in Dubai, where everybody's running over there for whatever. But the master teacher said that's where that child that was born on 72nd Street. The master teacher said he's over there. He didn't say Dubai, but he said he's over there in the East. He's not over here in the West. He was born here, but he's over there. That child that was born on June 6, 1966. We are in the end of times. There is so much crazy stuff happening all over the world. Y'all can't sit up here and act like y'all don't see what's happening. And the math teacher made it clear and said, that's me. I'm doing all of this. Because he said to a brother one day, I ran into this brother who wasn't an Ansar, who wasn't a Nawapian, who wasn't a Sabaean, who never walked with Malachi, and said that Malachi stepped to him one day. He said Baba was in a store with a bunch of girls. He used to work at my job, this guy named Steven. He said, he said, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I met Dr. York one day. He said Dr. York was in a store and he's had a lot of sisters with him. And I think he was in a gas station or whatever. And he went in there and on his way out, the Caucasians said something evil to him. He said, what did you say to me? And then he turned around and looked at the brother and said, there is going to be a time when all of this comes to an end. He said, the math teacher said, that lies in my domain. Now, for a man that doesn't walk with us, a brother that doesn't really know Dr. Malachi York but knew of him, to say that, I knew that came out of Baba's mouth. I knew that's what he said. There are a lot of things that are happening, and instead of y'all getting yourselves together and listening to the person that cares and the person that's putting in the work, y'all sitting up here twiddling your freaking thumbs, living your life, acting like the world ain't in a disaster. Bodies showing up. They got a serial killer in New York. Girls getting sliced up, strangled. Crazy people walking around with knives, stabbing people up. Gay men and women like never before. It's just crazy. Evil on top of evil on top of evil. And that is why the Om chant should be going on 24/7 in your home. The vibration, it's a vibration to help calibrate your being because of the times that we're in right now. And me, like I said, I'm getting into some more studies. I'm feeling absolutely outstanding. I feel good and I look good. And it's just getting better for me. And the math teacher made it very clear. He said, our rise is your fall. And no, I'm not reading the comments. Towel Tech for deleting all of this stuff. I don't know what's wrong with these people, man. Like I said, they sick in the head. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna go on somebody's live chat and just start typing crazy. Like I said, they got mental issues. A lot of these people who y'all are following or who y'all think has the master teacher's best interests, many of them are mental patients. 7:30. That's what we say in New York. When we say somebody 7:30, that mean they crazy. Because that's the address of the crazy building in New York, in Kings County Hospital. They got a G building. It's 7:30. Is it 7:30 Winthrop? Or I think 7:30. One of them buildings, but the address is 7:30. The door number to the crazy ward. And when we see somebody crazy, we say they 7:30. So when you hear me say 7:30, I'm telling you that they 7:30. I've been around these people. I'm not gonna sit up here and make nothing up and mislead any of you. What type of woman would that make me? How would that make me a Sabian? And then some of you would say, "Oh, well, the stuff that you're saying is you're talking about everybody." No, I'm not. You know how many followers are in this tribe? Am I putting everybody on the wall? No. I'm putting specific individuals on the wall. So don't let them black devils tell you, oh, she's talking about everybody. That is, no. I talked about Seneb. I talked about Tapa. I talked about Carla Thomas. I talked about Gadushtat. I talked about Dale Elaine Brown. I talked about Janet Goins. I talked about Joseph Hypno, Robbie Ward, a.k.a. Robbie Hypno. I talked about Dana Miller. I talked about Al Woodall. I talked about Rick. I talked about that brother in Haiti named Marcus Lucian. I talked about Dentut Ray. His name is Charles Arol. And that other brother, Amir James, who's in Liberia doing nothing. I talked about Damian Pryor, a.k.a. Deuce Y York. I talked about Matin. I talked about Hajar York. I talked about Leah York. I talked about Abigail. I talked about Jacob York. I talked about Uma York. It's a group of niggas, devils, black devils, whether they are related to the master teacher or not, that are part of this conspiracy. It's all about money, greed, lies, lust, and all the attributes of the evil one. And they are responsible for this mess that this tribe is in, okay? And you all refuse to listen to the people that are trying to tell you the truth, that are trying to help you. You won't listen to them. You're afraid. And if you ain't afraid, you're a part of the conspiracy. And I'm going to tell you this too, for all you sisters who think that you're occupying space in my time. Let me tell you something. I don't even think about your funky, stinking behinds. But what you won't do is pretend that you walk with us and give a false narrative to those that walk that want to come home and be a part of the Sabian tribe, Shabbat. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you give a false narrative and pretend you're something that you're not. I'm going to pull the mask off your face and expose you. And it's coming up. All right? So I just wanted to let you all know that I did not forget. The flyer will go out and then they will go up. Okay? I'll let you know when you could get your popcorn ready. All right? Because the show is going down. Y'all niggas want to party in Baba's name. Y'all want to laugh, have fish fries, dancing in circles around the brothers. In your OES funky, stinking, coochie selves. Walking around, switching your freaking hips around men in the tribe. Y'all know that's not our way. Y'all look stank. And I'm going to expose you. All you marshmallows with legs, calling yourself OES women. That's not our way. It's always been about AEO. It's always been about the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. It's always been about the ancient Egyptian order. It's always been about, though we are surpassed those schools. We are higher than that. But the master had to take us through those schools because they do a lot of satanic stuff. And even though you all wouldn't let go of it, even when you were part of it, the people that were part of it, that created those orders, don't even recognize you. Y'all could wear them rings all you want to. Them judges and all they to be looking at you. Get out of here. You ain't throwing no sign up and nobody letting you out of jail. Unless you are part of the skull and bones, something deeper than that. Unless you are a real superior Luciferian, then that may be different. Because you might be one of them, one a part of their secret brotherhood, like a lot of you are, pretending that you walk with the master and you really, like the flag says, the synagogue of Satan. That's what we really dealing with. And it's nothing to play with. These are some serious evil people. And they cast spells. That's what they do. They were born into this. It wasn't something that they just adapted to. They were born witches. I remember when I lived in the Ancestral community, they used to do things, but I didn't know about witches and witchcraft. I read the books and I was like, this is where I belong. I'm coming home. I knew it. I felt it. And no matter where I went, even when I left, things just kept happening to remind me where I belong. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you know you're not from here and you know you belong home and you outside sitting around a bunch of people whose destination is to go to hell. And y'all dummies is sitting around these niggas and y'all gonna let them take you down with them. And like I said, if you don't wake up and snap out of that hypnotic spell that these niggas put over you with the garbs and you know they got information, they got affirmation, they don't know nothing. All the information that they're getting is from the master. And they're acting like they're so deep. They're not deep. None of us are. We don't know anything. What we do know is what is taught to us in the doctrine. And guess what? They're studying it. They're studying it and they're teaching it to other people, acting like they know so much. They're plagiarizing our information and not telling people where they're getting it from. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's saying the multiverses. They ain't know nothing about no multiverse. They ain't know nothing about genetic kiss. They didn't know nothing about liquid gold until the master teacher spoke about it. Like he said, you can't steal my stuff and teach other people without mentioning something that I said. And that's how I know that they stealing our information. And those who are not where they need to be, mentally, physically, and spiritually, this ain't for you. It's just not for you, you know? And me, I'm not pulling teeth. I'm not begging nobody to listen to me, all right? Just go ahead. You know, I'm just telling you all what I know about these people. And I'm telling you that they're witches. And some of their children are witches too. This is real. And the math teacher broke it down and said that they are the descendants of those disagreeable beings that came down and raped the Adamites. Their blood, they are their blood descendants. And the thing is, they say you can't reform a devil. Yeah, I understand. Like somebody like Duswa, there's no reforming that nigga. Like, you're gone, bro. There's no redeeming raping a child, sodomizing a little boy, you know, beating women, lying and playing games and stealing money from people and pretending that you're a sick man. You are sick. You really are, you know? And so some of these people, just because a person is sick doesn't mean that they can't be, you know, an intelligent sick person. They know how to maneuver and get around and get things done, you know? But when you're sick, you're sick. Because if you're looking at a child and you think that that child is sexy, something wrong with you. No, something is wrong. Okay? There's something cute about children with the things that they're not sexy. And if they're acting sexy, it's something that they were taught. Somebody taught them that from time they were born. Their parents, you know, put them out there like that. Dance like this, and they're around adults and they being exposed to things and they just pick it up. It's not their fault, you know. But at a certain age, they can make the choices on which way they want to go in life. So I'm not pulling no teeth with nobody. Like I said, I already cut all them niggas off. I don't got nothing to do with none of them. Eldridge Alston, Amanuma, call himself Amanuma and all that. I don't got time. I don't have, it's beneath me. Low vibrational beings. I don't have time for it. And I'm preparing myself for the return of the master. And if you were smart, you would do the same thing. I'm not lying to you all. Wake up. Okay? And no, it's not 2026. Our New Year's is in July. I mean, it's in June. June of 26. This is their evil, wicked holidays. They show you on the ball when you turn it on and you see the ball or you watching the news. They show you people is kissing in the mouth, showing that on television, showing children this is what to do. You shouldn't even be doing that in front of children. That's not something children shouldn't be exposed to that. Then first of all, they ain't even thinking about that unless you say, come on, give me kiss. Or you expose them to, all right, you give them a gift and say, give me kiss and then give it to them. You teaching them that in order to get some, it's a sick way of thinking under their 6,000-year rule. And I'm just happy that, the master teacher woke us up and taught us that that's wrong. And I've had people say that to me. Say, here, I got something for you. And you say, what is it? And you say, oh, thank you. And they standing there waiting for a kiss. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, boy, you know. I don't want a kiss. Can I just accept it? Can you just give me the gift? That's why the master teacher said when we give gifts, we don't put names on them. Just accept it and say, of course, don't get me wrong. I'm very thankful for things that people give me or people help me with. I'm very thankful. I always try to be as humble as possible because it's called the humble abode of peace. I don't want to come off as like I'm better than anybody, even though I am better than many. I'm better than a lot of you. And I'm glad that I'm not like you. And I'm glad that the master teacher's in there. Not in there. I'm not glad that he's in there. I'm just glad that he's there. So now he can see who his family really is. Who are the people that really care about his life. I'm happy about that. And he's about to come out. I can feel it. It's a lot of powerful information that we getting. It's a lot of sad information that we getting. I don't like to see Baba talk about how people did him. It makes me sad. And you should feel sad too, because what if somebody did that to your mother or your father or your brother? What if somebody did that to your husband? Locked them up, lied on them, made up all these stories. You understand? These people bugging out here, man. But we in a time of truth now, and a lot of people are waking up. They want to know facts. They was like, man, I'm not worshiping that white Jesus on the wall. You crazy? That ain't my God. They starting to, the spell is being broken. It really is. But I just would like to suggest that many of you just wake up and realize what I'm telling you. I would like for you to realize what I'm telling you about these people. And also want to tell you that I will be exposing the whores in the tribe. There's some things that I need to read and some stuff that I need to break down to you all because it's a science to it. And then you can take this information that I'm telling you, you know, and apply it to your everyday life and protect yourself and your children and stay away from them. It's not everybody, it's a group. And they have an alliance with each other. They have an alliance with the devil, a spiritual pact with evil. They do. And some of them think that they deserve to be with one of the children of the Most High. Some of them, they try to come in and they try to mate with you, you know. They try to get in there and get in and be with you, you know, to drain your essence, like in the movie The Dark Crystal. So you just have to be careful, all right? So I'm gonna end this live. I just wanted to leave this message with you all and let you know that somebody said, I just created a sentence about you that really explains you definitely been speaking about me. What about I didn't know her age and all this other? All right, you're not making any sense. Hold on, let me do something. I'm going to, all right. Now you can't come back in. You can listen, King Wisdom 215. That's not a good number either. Anyway, I'm getting ready to get out of here, y'all. Y'all take care, be wise, and know that these are not our holidays. This is the winter solstice. You all protect your children. Listen to the master teacher, follow his teachings. He's a highly intelligent being and he's far advanced. And there's a lot of things that just will go over your head because you would think that he cares about someone. You know what I mean? And or you would think that this person is his best friend or they have his best interest and they I promise you they're evil and that they're not just simple evil people. These are beings. Listen, when the devil sends out his his helpers, he sends out the best because this is the real deal. They already got all those people out there in the world. They don't want them. They want you. Those who are in, you know, and you don't want to lose your seat. You don't want to lose your place in the master teacher's life because sometimes a person could look at you and tell that you're in. They know they have a spiritual eye. Just because they wicked doesn't mean they don't see who you are. And they have a wicked eye and they can see who you are. And then they'll pretend that they walk with Baba. And then but their ultimate job is to take you off the path of the Most High. So what you have to do is just listen to Panabab Yanun. Just listen to him. Stay in the books. Listen to him. Pray, chant, call out to your ancestors because they hear you. If you want to know what's going on, ask them. Ask them. Say, is this sister lying? I want to know what's up. You know? And that's it. And then, now these evil beings, it's over for them. And they know, like I said, I cut them all off. I don't want nothing. I'm not trying to savor anything, a relationship or yeah, we cool and we used to be cool. Ain't none of that no more. Once you cross me, it's a wrap. Ain't no coming back from that. I don't forgive and I don't forget. And that's how our ancestors are. Y'all keep on thinking these beings are some, floating in the sky with wings and stuff like that. Keep on thinking they like that. They will take you out. You, your kids, your mother, anything you love, anything you like, they will get rid of it. And that's but black devils, that's just how they are. They don't stop being evil. They don't care. They'll use their kids. They don't even care. They'll risk the life of their family. Don't you know that Iron Bolivar Frank wife, I forgot what she did. After she cursed me out, a week later, she got into a serious car accident. She woke up unconscious in a hospital, all right, because of what she was trying to do to me. And the thing is, it's like, yo, your man is just a wicked ass dude. Check your husband. A lot of women do that. They do that to their children. And I'm going to bring this subject up as well. It needs to be addressed. And a lot of you brothers need to understand the type of women that we dealing with. A lot of you don't know. But you need to understand the type of women that we dealing with and this tribe and the women on this planet. There was a lady, I think her name was Rashad Ali. Rashad Ali, I think her name was. And she wrote a book about women, and all the women got mad. She was right about all of them. I read the book. I said, "Whoa, I'm glad I'm not in it." Because she described each woman, the women that wear the dreads, the women that wear the baby hair, the women that act preppy. She broke it down like these different women in the categories that they come in because she's a woman. So how are you men going to learn about women? You're going to learn about women from a woman or from women, okay? And when I put them on the wall, I'm going to break some stuff down to y'all to a science, some things that I know to be a fact because I'm a woman, okay? What some of these women do, all right? And how they put men before Panatharu. And the math teacher said, he told them sisters, Panatharu does not respect women that put men before them. Men mean more to them than their spiritual. They'll talk all that spirituality and talk all that stuff to play mind games to will you in. Just like they look, like I said, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down to a science, you all. And like I said, I'm gonna pass the flyer out. You all have a nice shadow. And no, I'm not gonna say Happy New Year's because this ain't our time. All right, it's some real year. They blowing them horns and smiling. So about this is the 250th anniversary of the ball dropping all that. Man, it's about to get so ugly, So ugly. The math teacher said Hell's Gates is open and it ain't, and I know it's real. You see people walking around in the street with knives in their hand, going crazy. People losing it. Man setting his shirt on fire. People, men walking in the street, masturbating, walking in the street like it's nothing. Yo, it's crazy. It's evil out here. And our only protection is the master teacher. All right? He's our only protection from this wickedness. And we have to call out to our ancestors. And those of you who are continue to pray to ask for his safe return home, stay away from these people. Stay to yourself. Keep your children away from them. Don't let them in your house because they'll take something of yours. They're evil. I don't care how kind you are to them, what you give to them, how nice you are to them. It doesn't matter. It's not in their nature, okay, to do good things. And like I said, we'll elaborate on this later on. You all have a nice shadow. Um, and again, I'll send this video around. Please pass this around. He said, Amon Numa specifically said he sends nothing but love. It's about freeing the Savior. Look, man, look, let me tell you something. When I went to school, I was in a smart class. And I'm not bragging about it, it's the truth. I don't sit in a classroom with dummies, okay? I don't sit in a classroom with dumb niggas or dumb people that don't do their homework, don't follow the rules. You understand? The teacher goes over a lesson in the classroom. Teacher says, do your homework, come back in on Friday when there's a test. You don't have to worry about failing because if you did your homework, the test is going to be everything that's on the homework. Duh. But these niggas, they don't do that. They sit in class and they play games. They cut class. They lie. They eat bad. They look bad. I don't socialize and I don't consider unhealthy people a part of my family. Okay? I'm talking about unhealthy by choice. Eating garbage, smoking, drinking, doing drugs, living foul. Don't have a place that they can call their own and say, this is mine. The math teacher has taught us to be self-sufficient and live for of and by each other. All right? So the brother had the opportunity to step up. He did not listen to me. I said, stay away from niggas. They're coming around you because of me. He started getting big-headed, getting attention. Ego gets in the way. This is how men like that are. That is not my brother. Okay? That is not my brother. Let's make that clear. I have cut my ties off with these evil people. I don't care what they say good about me because they didn't. You had the opportunity to speak up and do the right thing, and you fell to the wayside. You couldn't stand the test of time. It ain't take but 2 months and your behind was rolling with these devils. No. Because if you cared about Baba, you'll be caring about his life and not your ego and milking the tribe for money and playing games and stuff after I told you over and over again who these people are. I told y'all about Shalimar long time ago. I said, look, I spoke to the girl on the phone. I said to Shalimar, she said, I'm not doing nothing. She said, I'm not doing nothing. She said it like that. And when the family sent her money to go visit Baba, she said, what? All that money that they spent, they could have gave that to me for me and my children. I said, didn't you get $1 million or something from the settlement? Because Laverne Richardson, her daughter is my best friend, Malika. We was in a community in Detroit together. That's my homie. She's a very respectful, professional, successful young lady. Well, older woman, because we in the same age bracket. Very pretty girl. Nice attitude and everything. She's not a whore, none of that. She carries herself very well. You understand? And they told me the whole story about Shalimar, man. And I tried to get her to work with me years ago back in 2007. She wouldn't do it. She said, I'm not doing nothing. And she had an attitude. and told me, and if you use my name, I'm going to sue you. I said, you can't sue me about nothing that's public information. She was angry. A lot of them are bitter, old school people from back in the days. They're played out and they're upset that the master teacher left them because they know he's a powerful man and that he didn't just go in there. He put himself in there to get away from them. And they know this. They saw him cause crabs out the sky. All right? Don't let them fool you. They saw him bring magical dust. He's healed some of them that was sick. Next day, some of them just wrote a letter and they was healed. Some of them he came and touched or smacked on the head or did something and their life turned around. Some of them couldn't have children and he gave, man, look, Baba gave himself, mind, body, soul, and spirit to these people that walk with him. And he's going in there angry because they know he has the power to come out. Don't let them make you think that he doesn't. Because he does. I'm telling you right now what I know. I'm telling you what I seen with my own eyes. He is who he says that he is. Very powerful man, piercing eyes. And if you ain't right, you ain't going to be able to stand around him. The math teacher's coming out with the full glory of the Most High. You all best to get yourself together, man. That's all I got to say. All right? And I'm going to put them on the wall and I'm going to expose them. Why? Because it needs to be. It is a necessity that these people get exposed. I have to. I would be wrong to not do it. They have to go on the wall and you all have to understand what I saw. And guess what? Some of you are going to be able to identify with what I said because some of these people, you hung around them too. And like I said, no, they don't occupy space, time, and my, please. I don't even think about them. But because of their behavior and because of what they did, they are part of this conspiracy. One way or another. There were a lot of evil things that took place that need to be exposed. All right? All right, so I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Y'all have a nice shadow. Please spread the word. Update is still coming up about these witches, the horrors of the Nawapian Nation.